Hello, fellow gamers. I'm Gloryhoundd, and this is the lovely DrGloryhogg here with me today. And it is Kickstarter Day, where we talk about all of the upcoming GameFound and Kickstarter things that are happening. I guess just not things, but board games.
Yeah, it's not just
random things. Kickstarter games.
We have sometimes done some accessories. Like I know that there's the Board Game Tables is doing a set of like modular bookshelves.
Oh, those are really cool. Those are really cool looking.
Yeah.
And then that one time we did talk about random stuff that you all just wanted us to talk about, which was an
like
interesting journey.
Holder.
It was such an interesting journey, everyone. I really liked that episode. It was so much fun.
Isn't that a polite way of saying it? It was an interesting journey that I would never do again.
And hello to our chat today. It looks like we have Eric in chat, Lindsay, Battlecry, Jolly Lumpy. We have Petter in chat. Thank you so much for showing up today.
Thank you for joining us at the table as we talk about all the hottest Kickstarters.
Absolutely. And if you are new here, make sure to give us a thumbs up on this video. Perhaps like and subscribe if you're interested in talking about Kickstarters with us. We always enjoy seeing your comments during the stream and after to see what your thoughts are on the games as well. So we have 4 games we're talking about this week.
We are highly susceptible, so you could potentially convince us to buy something.
That's very true.
Highly susceptible to advertising. It works really well on me. And if the game that you're interested in is Assassin's Creed, the Orlog dice game, we actually covered that on Tuesday, so you can take a look at that after this video and see our thoughts on that crazy business.
Absolutely. Ooh, Eric's already like Rat Queens. Who in here has...
I've been called a Rat Queen before.
Well, you know, I want to talk about...
I wasn't mad.
That's fair.
I wasn't mad.
That's fair. You can't be mad being a rat queen, okay? We'll talk a little bit about that and the comic as well. I'm interested to see who's actually read the comics and stuff with that one. But first up, we have Distilled. Let me make sure I got all my stuff on here. Distilled.
The game about fancy alcohols.
Distilled is by Paverson Games. This is a first-time creator here.
Some awards.
But they have won some awards, though, with this particular game.
Oh, how did I miss Loch Ness?
Nessie?
I've seen this video like 3 times, and I've missed that every time.
I didn't see that either.
I must not pay attention the first 5 seconds.
This is for 1 to 5 players, and it should last about 30 minutes per player when you are playing this. In this game here, what you're going to be doing is you are going to be going through the distilling process where you're going to be drafting certain components for your alcohol. You're going to be putting those together, and then you're going to do some shuffling and discard a couple of things from those. Then you're going to leave them in the barrel, and longer you leave them in the barrel, the more like sort of hints and notes that they're going to get while they're in the barrel. And then eventually you're going to be selling your alcohol to the market, and that is how you're going to be playing your game here. This is a really interesting game.
So I just recently watched a Netflix show called Heist, where this guy was stealing whiskey.
Yeah.
And that game made me more interested in this game. Because I was like, wait, you make the whiskey and then it sits there for 20 years? And these are things I know. I am not a connoisseur of the alcohols, but I understand the general idea of it. But I'm like, man, you let it sit for 20 years? Like, I would love to have the ability to make something and then have it sit for 20 years and then sell it later. But you have to have some, like a good plan ahead of time. Because you got to have people want to buy it in 20 years. And then you got to store it for 20 years. That's a lot of forethought that I don't think I'm capable of.
Yeah, so... You haven't been up to the sort of vineyard country in Arizona and
I mean,
stuff?
I've been, but I don't drink wine.
Right,
so.
right. So not in the same way where you're going and tasting and you're seeing all these things. Yeah, a lot of those places, I mean, they're in it for the long run there, and those vineyards and stuff will get passed down through families.
Yeah.
Or people will go ahead and purchase ones that are already done because you do have to have time on your side.
Which is the theme of this game, is that you are being given a distillery, and then you have to basically... like modernize it and get it going and keep the legacy going, right? And
right.
I don't know. I'm just what you would call trashy, and all my favorite drinks come from like the gas station. So
Petter says
I'm not good people.
So much money to start making whiskey because you need to store it. Yes, you need to store it in those barrels. And
the only thing I have that's 20 years old is like this winning smile.
I was gonna say a kid, but no, not yet. They're still a ways away. They're not properly just
that one's
like
18
marinated.
years and it's out. I'm not waiting 20 years. I'm not waiting 20.
We're not going to the 20. Oh, hey, Kyle. How are you doing? First time live. Welcome to the show.
Nice.
So I want to hear what everyone's kind of first thoughts are on this, because for me...
This is a euro, right? Essentially?
That's interesting, because...
That's what it looks like to me.
I have some thoughts on this. Because you have some card drafting, okay?
Okay.
And then personally, I don't like push your luck things. That push your luck thing where you draft your stuff and you start mixing up your drink and then you have to get rid of 2 of those things from like the distilling process or something like that, like makes me, it like, I have like this thing inside me that's like, oh, you can't ruin what I just built. Why would you do that? Why?
That's fair.
And I'm hoping that the portion, the recovery portion, once you put it in the barrels and stuff like that, helps with that. But like, as soon as that happened, that made my stomach like drop, and I was like, I wasn't even playing the game. I'm just watching this thing, and I'm like, oh, I hate that so much. In like, not I hate the game way, but like as in like, it freaks me out, everyone. Okay. It just freaks me out.
That's fair. I mean, I get what you're going with that. For me, these games are always hard to tell if I'm going to like them or not because, like, so if you look past the theme, which theme is really important to me, if you look past the theme, right, because the distillery process, although it's interesting to me, it's not like a hobby of mine. I've never brewed my own brews or anything like that. I'm not a microbrew person or anything like that. But it does have an interest because of the chemistry involved in it. But it essentially is a Euro game where you're moving cubes around, you're trying to get things. I mean, we've seen a kind of a wide variety of games that are similar themed, right? Where you're making something to kind of provide them for customers. This is a little bit more big scale production-wise, but we've played other production-style games. And it's hard for me to tell just by looking at it. Is it something I'm going to enjoy when it's on my table, or is it something that you have to have a love for Euros or a love for the theme in order to get into?
I'm going to have to go look at it because I personally don't feel like this is a hugely Euro sort of style game because you're drafting cards, then you have a push your luck sort of portion of it, and then you're leaving them in barrels would be like the only sort of Euro-ish sort of thing, I guess, because you're still like you're collecting things from a group pile here.
It is a production game though. Yeah.
I don't feel like it's particularly Euro-y. Euro-y? Is that a word? I don't know if you can be Euro-y.
Maybe it's the liberal use of brown. Whenever you use a lot of brown or tan in your game, I just automatically assume it's a Euro.
You can't just call all brown games Euro games, okay?
I said brown or tan.
Oh. Jolly Limpy says, whiskey is a hobby of mine, plus the game looks like something I could like. And that's one of the things, too. Like, I love whiskeys and bourbons and gins, and I love, wines and stuff like that. So, like, this whole process and the way that they presented it in a game sort of form was so interesting with this. And I think they did a really good job of kind of putting it in this. So Petter says it's called a medium weight Euro themselves.
They call it a medium weight Euro.
I don't feel like it feels Euro-y.
That's what they call it though.
Yeah.
So you can't tell them that's not what it is. It's their game. So right, you are a connoisseur of those things where I like a nice real cane sugar soda. Or maybe a connoisseur of French fries.
French fries.
Hey, I've tried French fries at almost every fast food place that we've ever been to. Like, in my life. In different countries, I will eat a French fry. So, I think it is still a Euro. Okay. It is probably medium weight, like they said, because it's not a super heavy Euro. There are kind of timing aspects, collecting of resources to then produce something. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm 100% sold on it, but I know you're probably into the theme a lot more than I am.
I am really into the theme. David says, so I play tested this about a year ago. It's really fun. The push your luck elements actually feel really good. And I'm really glad to hear that, David, because that, like I said, that was the one thing that just made my stomach crunch because I'm like, no, it's ruined. All my elements in here are ruined. I don't want to make the moonshines. I want to make the delicious drinks.
See, is that really a loss? I drank moonshine once when I was in Kentucky from a guy that was from Kentucky, from the back of his car, and it was intense.
Yes, Kentucky moonshine is intense. When somebody rolls
up and they pop their trunk, and he was in the military with me, but he popped his trunk and he's like, I got some moonshine back here. I tried it. It was very intense. I'm pretty sure I died a little bit that day. As a note, and I never got that part of my life back.
If somebody's bringing moonshine in their truck up to a random place, don't drink that, everyone, okay? Don't always drink that. At least know the person before you drink, okay?
I knew him. I knew the guy. It wasn't a random guy.
I drank Everclear once and I felt like I got drop kicked in the chest. Yeah. Yeah. So let's see here. I agree on the disconnected with the random elements combined with the otherwise tight Euro design. I like to push your luck in light games like Port Royale and Quacks, but I get frustrated with bad luck here. Me too, Luke, because I am one of those people that just, for some reason, I have a little bit more bad luck than good luck in games.
You have an aversion to anything luck-based, even if it's not true. You're the only person I know that can win 4 out of 5 battles in Dwellings of Eldervale and then complain about how you have bad dice. But you won 4 out of 5. But you're like, oh,
Just because
I
plan for the bad
I have
rolls.
such bad luck.
And Fatal, I agree. Germany has curry fries, and they are great. I want to try them. That sounds delicious.
I
like
both
curry
those things.
and I like fries. So 100% good, okay?
So Eric says the higher the luck is in the game, the shorter it should be. I kind of agree with that. Like the good push your luck games are something like zombie dice, something where you know it's going to be over in 15 minutes, right? You're just rolling dice, collecting brains.
I really like this portion right here, though, where you are adding the notes back in. So I feel like if you got a particularly bad batch of cards that you're not like out of the gate with this or out of the game because of bad luck, like you're still able to recover that during this process. So this is a really interesting game. This is also on, I believe they have it on Tabletop Sim. This is the one that's on like everything. Tabletop Sim, Tabletopia. There we go.
It's on your Apple Watch.
Boom, boom,
you can play it on a TI-85 calculator.
You can demo this print and play here. So if you are interested in the game, like there are options for you to go through the game and try it out with this here. The starting price for this game is $55.
That's not bad.
It is $85 if you want the expansion, the metal coins, and the coaster set on this, which is interesting. And this is a first-time creator as they're hitting out of the gates here. They're doing fantastic. But the big thing with first-time creators that we always talk about is, one, expect delays in their production because they're always going to have production delays. What? Why are you looking at me right now?
I give you this look because you say that every time for first-time creators.
It's important.
But you name a long-time creator that's given us a game on time in the last 3 years.
Well, that's different because they've had some serious setbacks overall.
I'm just saying it's been 3 years, and I could probably, on one hand, count how many times I've gotten a game on time or early. It is very rare in Kickstarter to actually get your game when it's advertised. I've never gotten a come on game on time. I've never gotten, major people that use this platform all the time. I've never gotten one on time that I can
No,
think
there are
of.
plenty of publishers
Small
that deliver
ones.
really well, like gambling
tin
games and stuff like that.
Gambling games have been good. We've got some
Yeah.
other tin games that have come like on time and stuff. I think like Mint has and everything like that. I know when we did Blessed Dark, we got that one on time, I think. But most of these big ones that have any kind of like extra production value at all.
Okay, when I'm saying whenever first-time publishers
You're just always more worried that they're going to run across something they've never seen before.
Right. This is a big thing, though.
But you never know if like their logistics person is somebody who's done 100 of these, though, too. Like,
I'm saying expect delays because as first-time publishers that they don't have those connections usually with people in China and who are doing their production. And so therefore there's been campaigns that are stopped in the middle of production because they have to change facilities or factories in China and stuff like that. And that'll put like a whole year into the creation of that game because then they have to go and they have to get prints and pieces from that company, a new company and stuff. And so like, I'm just saying be more lenient for those first time creators and publishers. That's what I'm saying. And I think it's important to note because people who have already been through that process, a company that's been through that process several times already has those connections, so they already know the facility they're going to send it to. They already know the pricing. They already know the process.
It can go smoother, but it doesn't usually.
Smoother. It doesn't always.
I always expect them to be late.
But it does go smoother. So there's a reason why I do say it. Okay?
The reasoning
There's
is
a
false.
reason why I do say it.
I disagree with your disagreement.
The two differences in the price in this is the $55 one and an $85 one. And the $85 one has all of those coins and all that other extra good stuff in it.
$30? That makes sense. It seems like anytime you add coins, it gets to be $20, $30 more.
About $20 for
There's something
metal
about
coins,
metal.
right?
I don't know.
So I have yet to get a game within 6 months of projections, says Eric. Yeah, it's been really bad for game companies right now, and I really feel bad for them. Like,
oh, yeah.
And I'm just missing getting my Kickstarters in at this point, you know?
I'm not really mad about it because there's a lot of games out there, but that has caused us this year to delve deeper into our shelf of opportunity to find stuff to play on our show.
And here, Petter is talking about this one is one that I might pick up in retail. That style I want to know what reviews on before they back it. Right.
Before.
Well, here's the other thing though about first-time creators is that if they're a first-time creator and this game is fantastic, it's going to be very hard to get at that retail store.
That's true.
And it might not fully come out to retail stores in a way. You know what I'm saying?
I find that there's a lot of people though, that bounce around in the industry that you would assume are, oh yeah, they're a first-time creator because it's like a new company. But like, for example, people were talking about Cardboard Alchemy being like, oh, they're a first-time creator. But I'm like, it's Peter Vaughn. He did Dwellings of Eldervale. So he's not a first-time creator. It's his first time with his new company, but he's not a first-time creator.
Yeah, but
I
even
feel like
if
there's a
it's-
lot of that crossover there that people don't see.
Even if it's Peter Vaughn stopped, made his own company, and was producing a game, that doesn't mean that he knows every single aspect of the game production and getting it out. Because you have to know
I
about
don't know. Why
distribution.
don't you ask him that tomorrow? Because he is driving here tomorrow to play games with us, and you besmirch him now? Within 24 hours of him being here?
I'm not besmirching
Within 24 hours, Peter Vaughn will be in Arizona so that we can play Dwellings of Eldervale and his new Flamecraft game, and you're besmirching his name.
not.
You better hope he's on the road.
Wow.
You better hope he's on the road. How dare you, madame? How dare you? I'm telling him what you said,
Are
too.
you-
Oh, I'm telling.
Okay, fine. I'm going to ask him, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to see if someone who is a designer, because Peter is a designer, if he just comes in, then he knows everything about producing a board game.
Peter knows everything.
I'm going to ask Peter, and if he doesn't know everything, we're reporting back on Discord how right I am. And if he does know everything, you will never hear of this ever again. Okay.
There we go. If he doesn't know everything, I'm calling the cops. Hey, what's going on, Omar?
Doc's just dropping spoilers like it's nothing, right, Fatal?
It's not spoilers. We wanted to keep it close to our hat until we knew for sure he was going to be able to make it out and all the plans are set up. But he will be here in Arizona tomorrow to play some games because I talked to him about Dwelling so much. He's like, we got to play a game of it. And then
It's gonna be fun.
Flamecraft, his next game that's coming out on Kickstarter, is something that we've already talked about being excited about because it's got dragons in there. When you live in a land that has so many dragons that they're just straight up making bread and stuff, like that's just their casual job. They work at the donut shop. That's the world that I want to be in. That's a lot of dragons.
All right, Chad, are you going to be backing this game? This is, I mean, the $55 mark here.
That's a good price, I would say.
I feel like that is a really good price. I don't know if I need the distilled shot glass, metal coins, drink coasters, and expansion. I do feel like, though,
I think it's how much you're going to use it. These types of alcohol
this
games
game-
tend to do pretty well, though. It's
Right.
almost like adults like to drink.
I feel like this particular game, once it does get out to the market, if it is really good, just going to be snatched up super fast. You're not going to be able to get it. Like, I feel like that is a very easy way for this to go. So if you are interested in this game, like a lot, I would suggest maybe not waiting on it.
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying.
I just don't think that, since the theme isn't a big hit for me, and typically I don't like Euros as much, they have to really win me over. It's a pass for me, but it's not one that I wouldn't play if I was presented the opportunity.
So Battlecry says, pass for now. Jolly Lumpy says, I already have the expansion pack. For which game?
For everything.
For all the things?
For all of them. Jolly
Price-
Lumpy has everything.
Header
Jolly
says-
Lumpy's in a different time zone completely.
Price is accurate, but it's a pass for me. The game style isn't the one that I back often on Kickstarter.
That is a good
That's
point.
fair.
I feel like Euros typically don't get backed as much, because they're a little bit of a difference. I think, like, we ran across a very heavy Euro group here in Arizona that plays meetups. They meet up twice a week to play games, and they were like talking about, oh yeah, I back 1 or 2 games on Kickstarter a year, and they're like, yeah, I get on Kickstarter all the time, and I'm like, a year? And that's no shame. Everyone's got different money and everyone's got different priorities. But if you're on Kickstarter a lot and you're backing 1 or 2 games a year, the games that you like aren't on Kickstarter, basically, which I feel like most Euros go straight to retail for that reason. Like, you know, a lot of games, if it's a Vital Lacerda, he doesn't have to necessarily be on Kickstarter. He could probably just sell that at the retail level.
Eric says, I'm going to back this one. And Jolly Lumpy says, Distilled already backed. DrGloryhogg and Gloryhound back. 1 to 2 Kickstarters every day. I wish I could. I wish I could support
We have actually
game
slowed
companies
down
that
a lot
much.
the last couple weeks waiting. And as you know, the last 2 weeks, we didn't have anything that we really wanted to talk about a whole bunch. But I'm actually excited about 2 games this week.
2 games this week. I would back this game.
2 games.
This is a game style that is very interesting. I think it's going to be really interesting to play. I like the mechanics that are produced. I'm not a huge fan of the luck portion, but I'm hearing some good feed out from our people here on our chat and how it's not like a bad feeling whenever it happens. So
That's true. Like I said, I would be
I'd be
willing
okay
to
with
play
that.
it.
But the theme, I love the theme
Yeah.
so much in this game. I love the theme so much, and I think it would be so much fun going through that distilling process with everything and having all of the like I feel like you're going to learn a little something with this game too as you go through the distilling process.
I'm not here to learn.
Because they've been very accurate with everything. So moving on.
I would be willing to try to make moonshine, but I don't want to drink it.
No, I don't want to drink your moonshine.
That's fair.
Luke says, doesn't look like a good fit for me, so I'm passing on this one here. Hopefully this is my last Kickstarter until Voidfall for my wallet's sake, says Eric. Oh,
I get that, Eric.
Yeah.
We've been good for the last couple weeks, so, I mean, there's been some little stuff, but we haven't done anything big recently. Not like the good old, gosh, where it was like Awakened Realms and Primal and everything was just like bam, bam,
Why do they
bam,
all have
bam,
to come
bam,
out all at once?
Frosthaven.
I wish they could just space it out a little bit, you know? Next up, we have Spire's End. Hilda, this is by Greg Favero. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. This is the second in this particular,
I'm gonna go with Farvo.
series. That it might be Farvo, yeah.
Who knows? We'll
I don't know.
never know.
I love the art in this, everyone. The art is so eye-catching. This character right here is so fantastical looking. I love everything about the art in this.
I would headbutt somebody so hard
Everything
if I had a
about
helmet
art.
like that. Not only is it metal, but then the offside is you're going to cut them with the horn. So, hey, Greg's here.
Oh, hey, Greg. How are you doing? So, let's see here. Fatal says, I backed this, and Battlecry's waiting for Divinius, which also we are also waiting for as well.
So, this game actually hit my radar because in our Discord, it was either, I want to say it was Fatal talking about it, about the original, because there was one that came out before that
There's
was
an original.
That was heavy blacks, reds, and whites.
Yes.
You know, with that kind of style, where it was still this kind of art, but it was a darker art, and it was like a darker world. Where this one is billed to be more of a lighter adventure, what they called a comfort food of adventure games. But this one also has co-op, which I don't know if the other one does. So I'm excited about that because the little sister has a freaking boomerang. Who doesn't want to throw a boom? Man, if I had a boomerang right now, I would throw it. In fact, when we were at Dave & Buster's the other day, there was a boomerang, and I tried to convince my kid to get it, and she shot me the dirtiest look I've ever seen, where she's like, hey, you forgot that you're a father. Like, kid you wants a boomerang. Father you does not want a boomerang, and that's true. I don't want my kid to have a boomerang.
So this is for 1 to 2 players. Should last about 2 to 3 hours. This is a storytelling game in a deck here. So you're going to be going through this story with the deck of cards. However, it's not exactly like a choose-your-own-adventure book in the way that you can do battles and stuff as you're actually playing this game. So, Doctor, what are your thoughts on this?
I like this a lot. I like the fact that you can go out, you can fish, you can hunt, you can run into like potentially like bad guys chasing you. You can just kind of like a nice adventure. It reminds me of playing something like Fable, right? Where Fable, everything
Fable's
was
a great comparison. Hello, Angela.
The video game Fable there was not a lot of high stakes. Like you could get knocked out or something, but you never felt like, oh man, I'm gonna get murdered by like the reincarnation of death, right? It was very kind of like cheeky and fun, and you had a good time, and you're playing as a kid most of the time, and you go through and you would help people. I really like the idea of this. I've actually really enjoyed playing some of the graphic novel adventures by Van Ryder games. This is a card game version of this. I feel like this is a very approachable type of adventure story game, and I'm 100% in on that one. This is definitely, the Hungry Hog. Hey, I'm hungry right now.
So,
what are the chances that the Hungry Hog would pop up right now while I, as Gloryhogg, am hungry?
Hopefully Greg is still in chat. I have a question for Greg on this, and that is, if you were in the middle of a game, is there a way to save this? Because I have not played the Spire's games before, So I don't know if there's a particular saving way here for this, because 2 to 3 hours.
You can save it.
Yeah, 2 to 3 hours of
like
taking deck cards out of your deck and everything. You're putting them down. You're making choices. You're going through things. You're putting back. You're fighting people and stuff. Like, I might want a burrito for lunch in there or something. So
you can just walk away from the table. That is allowed. So I think the thing that gets me the most excited about this, whenever you see people who do the reviews and everything and people who have played it, one of the things they said that really stuck out to me, they said, I played this like intro adventure and I've gone down a bunch of different paths every time. And that's really big for me, because one of the things that can kill a game for me, like if it's a game like this, is that you can only play it once and that's it. It's the end of your story. You can never really play it again. But this one, it sounds like you can play it, and then the next time you can decide to go a different route, go fishing. The next time you go a different route, go help this person. And there's a lot of choices that you can make, which is, I think, is what really makes these games fun, is that branching storyline, right? That's what I really loved about Choose Your Own Adventure. You go, I go up in the hot air balloon, and you go and you flip a couple pages like, you are dead. And you go, I did not go in that hot air balloon.
So,
in fact, I took a car ride.
Petter says, you weren't lying. The price of Spire's End on eBay is insane. Yes. So if you are interested in this game, first off, everybody, this is $40. If you're interested, I would back it right now, first off, because it's an incredibly hard game to obtain. Absolutely. So you just back it, get it to your house and everything. No problems there. The BGG rating for this, went and looked at the original and everything. Really high ratings and stuff. Like, everybody seems to really, really like this particular game.
Here's the thing about this, too, is I feel like since it's kind of like being done by like a person or maybe a very small team, he's probably in his basement right now writing these cards. Just
right?
He's like, oh no, another backer. Oh man, I gotta get another. This campaign is doing very well as far as the backer support it has. For somebody who hasn't put out a lot of stuff, I want to fight this jack-o'-lantern real bad.
It looks so cool, right?
Really bad.
Greg says if you need to pack up, you would need to keep track of your gold, feats of strength items, and the cards you left on.
That's
so that's not bad at all. That would just be like
what kind of monster leaves in the middle of an adventure, though?
Well,
you have. I've never seen you leave in the middle of a game.
You never know. Something could come up. Okay.
If there's an earthquake, just take your cards with you. So this one for me, since it is a story-based game, and we've been really enjoying those.
I love story-based games.
I'm in on this one, because the thing that usually kills you on those is if there's not a lot of good options, or if it's overly fiddly, right? Like you have to be tracking like too many things to the point where you're like, this is more homework than anything else.
I don't want it to be...
This doesn't seem like it's fiddly.
Yeah.
It seems like you've got a lot of different options you can take. This one seems like a good back.
The dice rolling in this is also really interesting with the combat and like trying to make bullseyes and stuff and having certain things on certain cards that you need to get and stuff. So you get a dice set for that combat system and you roll those and use those for the combat system, which I thought was also really interesting because that is something that a choose your own adventure book just never does.
Boomerang.
You're just in it for the boomerangs right now.
The boomerang. It's a boomerang or a slingshot. Those are the perfect weapons.
Oh, there's no hit points character sheets. It's designed to be fairly simple or for better or for worse. Well, so far this, I'm loving everything about this, honestly, Greg. Has a fantastic, like, I don't know, I love the art is so catching. Yes. That was the other thing I was thinking of. Like, how fun would it be for a kid to get into this and be able to go through this whole choose your own adventure sort of game like this on their own if they wanted. Or with a parent.
So playing through the whole core box of Destinies, I learned one very valuable thing. My kid is just better off playing these types of games solo.
Our kid just wants to play solo RPG style games,
and that's fine. Hey, play away. Play away. Now, how do you say this character's name?
Halveg?
Halveg.
Halveg?
I don't know. I just made it up.
I don't know. It sounds like it would be right.
I'm going to call her Boomerang. The Boomerang Bombshell. Boomerang Bombshell.
I love it. I don't know. It's just, it looks like a world I would want to be immersed in, is what it is. With the art and storytelling going on and everything, it's something that I would sit down, and it's like it's raining right now, so I'd sit down on a rainy day, I'd take out these cards, and I'd play this game. Maybe I would invite DrGloryhogg. I don't know how I feel about that, but
I'm going to say this.
The option's available.
For whatever reason, we either go grimdark or we go like light adventure.
Yes.
And this seems like a nice, cool, light adventure.
I love it. So, chat, are you interested in purchasing this game and backing this game? Doctor, I kind of already know like what you're thinking.
I don't know if this Petter Swinzerword knows how to speak Norwegian. That's just false narrative, Petter. I don't believe you. Yes, I'm in on this one, 100%. I love
figured
it.
You would be.
I want the co-op one. I don't want the original Spire's End just because I don't believe the original had the co-op. But for, what is it, like 40 or 50 bucks?
It's 40 bucks.
40 bucks?
It's 40 bucks, everyone.
It's not too bad.
And it's crazy that the other they had another offering on here where you got the original Spires. It's just gone. Like,
yeah, I sold out quick.
Greg, that you are able to get more of the originals out, because this would be something that I would definitely want to come back and love to play the original if I really, really liked this one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be interested in seeing more of these.
I guess the first one you could play 2-player also.
Oh, okay, perfect. That art, right? Mwah! That art, Fatal.
Yeah.
So good.
I could see just putting some of this art up on the wall, which is always a good thing, because I'm not a person that usually hangs up a bunch of art, but I like the art in this a lot.
So let's see here.
4 chapters, 400 cards, 12 custom etched dice that are six-sided.
Jolly Lumpy says, not at this time for Jolly Lumpy. That's interesting. Let's see here. I just ran out of stock in the game, says Greg. I hope you can do a reprint because it seems like it's hot. Let's see here.
Luke says, it looks fun, but they generally don't play a lot of 1 or 2 player games. That's fine. On our end, we play a lot of 1 or 2 player games. So, oh, here's one thing. I really liked this playmat. I was just kind of hoping, and I know that it's not finalized, I was kind of hoping that it would be
some of the art on it?
Yeah, like more of the white with the leaves going behind it. Yeah. Maybe one of the characters kind of behind part of it, you know? Like, I think that would be really cool. I would definitely be inspired to get Spire's and playmat if it had some of the cool art on there.
If it did have the cool art on it, I would definitely do that as well.
Nothing wrong with this. It makes it look like it's very playable. Like, this would be a great thing, especially if our kids playing it on their own.
There you go. There will be smart. Good. Good. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear it. Thanks so much for joining us here, Greg. I love it whenever the designers and publishers end up in chat because you can answer all of our questions right there that we may have. Like, I really, really appreciate all of you being here.
Fatal's all in on the leaf motif.
Oh, yeah, right?
Leaf
Those leaves.
motif. That's my next tattoo. Leaf motif.
Leaves are so hot right now. It's because we're missing fall because it's so hot out.
We don't even have a fall in this state.
All right, so I want to back this one. It's $40.
So we agree on this one.
$40.
So this doesn't count as our burrito then, because we both agree.
If you're going at home,
you know what? I'm going to use your burrito for this one. So
How dare
you say this one, and then I get to pick the next game that we back.
If you're at home and you're going, but it's a deck of cards, you have to remember all the storytelling and all the stuff that people have to write going into this. So I feel like $40 for
and there's a lot of unique art too.
Yeah, is a huge deal. For this.
And to be honest,
with all the art and writing.
For $40, I feel like you'll actually get the game. If this was like $20, I'd be like, this seems like it's underpriced and they're going to run into issues later.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited. All right, next up. Oh, who all is backing this? Did I ask that already?
I think Petter has to, like by law.
You have to? Fatal? Yeah. Chuck says burrito at Gloryhound. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
All right, so Fatal's in. Fatal is in.
Next up, we have Rat Queens to the Slaughter. This is by Deepwater Games. It's for 1 to 4 players, and it should last about 45 to 60 minutes. Now, Rat Queens is a
graphic novel.
Yeah, it's a comic book, everyone.
Stole your thunder there. You're welcome.
You want to tell us a little bit more about Rat Queens, Doctor?
Rat Queens is actually based off of a graphic novel, in case you were unaware, about women slaying stuff.
All right, this graphic novel came out a little while ago. It's not recent or anything like that, and I remember at the time when it came out, I was really, really excited about reading it, but I never got a chance to read it, and I was really upset about it.
And it's won some awards, too.
Because it has won some awards. It has some really fantastic female adventurers, an all-female adventure cast going through this fantasy-based world. And it's
Best
not like
hairstyles.
Right, it's not like all of the super like
atheist
good
human cleric.
Yeah, exactly. It's not all the super fantastic goody good, you know, sort of adventures. Like you have the one girl who's like the orc in there and stuff, and like so these are adventures that actually have some spirit and background about them, and it's not a sort of princess fairy tale sort of neighborhood that you would think would go along with something like that. Does that make sense? Like, whenever a fully female character marketed thing, you're thinking, oh, this is made specifically for...
It's not Disney princesses.
Exactly. It's not your Disney princesses that are running into this fairy tale adventure. No, these are
you realize that I'm
hardcore adventures.
I'm married to you, so I don't really think of a girl group as like Disney princesses. I think of more something like a gothic rock band or something.
The Rat Queens feel like could be a gothic rock band, for sure.
For sure. There's some lead singer energy going on right there. I say that because I think it's the one that's really good at combat. When she popped up, I was like, is she playing drums? But no, she was killing somebody with a sword.
Same thing.
Very
you're either
close.
Killing it on the drums or you're killing it with your sword.
What I like about this one is even the base pledge, you're going to get like 7 miniatures. And it's pretty inexpensive considering you're getting miniatures also.
So, the base price on this is $49 for just the base portion of the game. But in this here, it is a cooperative game. You're going to be working with your fellow adventurers to pull off sweet combinations in order to take down this mass of minions that is coming toward you and trying to murderize all of you. And then, of course, you're going to have a face-off with a boss at the very end on the board as well.
Yeah, and you get 3 bosses with 3 big bads for the end.
It is set up to... See, this is the orc lady, and she looks fantastical. Fantastical. Brutal rage, howling mad. It's freaking awesome. Like, I love the characters in this so much. So, let's see here. They're called rat queens with a name like that. You know, they aren't the good guys. Well...
They're the best of guys. Listen, if you got some rat queens like that are like, you know, willing to help you out, then that's good. What you don't want to be is on the other side of the rat queens.
So rat queens
you don't want to be an enemy.
Is one that I want to watch the gameplay of to get a better idea, but the theme is super awesome and it's cooperative. Okay.
So there actually is a good playthrough. Naveen and I'm going to forget names, of course. It's Before You Play. It's part of Watch It Played.
Yeah.
Part of Rodney Smith's crew. They actually have one on this one, so it was pretty cool.
This one here, though, I feel like it's going to be on the lighter side for everyone.
So this feels like almost like a Gloomhaven. And let me explain when I say that. Because you got Gloomhaven, you've got 7th Continent, right? Gloomhaven is the combat. So this is like D&D. It's very combat focused for the most part. Yes, it is. Where some other games we've seen have been more narrative. Like Hilda, for example, the Spire one would be more narrative based. Yes. So something more like a Vampire the Masquerade where the story is the game versus D&D where the combat is the game.
Right.
So this one is very combat focused. I mean, it's like playing something like Champions of Hara, where it's going to be about the combat. There's story attached to it, of course, but it is very much about the combat.
100% about the combat. You have an asymmetrical deck of cards for each character here that you're going to be playing with. Has a little bit of that deck builder sort of feel to it. As you're throwing cards out and everything, you're going to be trying to do things that match up with opponents and their friend tokens that they've left on the board and stuff like that in order to do combos.
You can do some Friendship is Magic.
Right, it's like Friendship is Magic.
Boom. So Petter wants to know if this is a Deep Waters game. Yes, it is. So you know that there's a really good track record there. And I know you say there's no Hild, but Hildegard, it sounds really sus, Petter. That's for you, buddy.
Jelly Lumpy says, I would like to play, but I do not think I would like to buy it. So here's my thoughts on
Yeah, what are your thoughts? Because this one didn't initially hit my radar. Besides, I saw the Rat Queens. I've seen Rat Queens twice now, but it didn't immediately jump out to me as something that I needed to like delve super deep into.
So here's my thoughts on this. So sometimes whenever companies pick up a certain entity, they have to make a game that's not only for that entity, but also for gamers in general.
Right,
and
like
so,
an IP game, an intellectual property game.
Right, so what companies try to do is they try to lean, most of the time, I want to say like 85% of the time, they lean on the game being easier to play than this advanced gamery game. Although what huge game did we play the other day? I was like, this is too much for people coming into this IP.
Gosh, I don't know off the top of my head.
I don't remember what it was. There was a game we played the other day that I was like, holy cow, this is so much of a gamery game that I think the people that were interested in this IP would not be interested in this game because it was too hard to play for those particular people coming into the hobby. So this is like a merry relationship that they have to have with this game and the people who already love Rat Queens and then gamers, new gamers, or regular gamers and new gamers being introduced to this. So this is like an incredibly hard balance to get. And so
it is.
This game here is going to probably be easier to play on the lighter side, but it's going to really, really be into the co-op portion of it and working with other players, which I like. It almost makes the game go in an easier way and teaching it to people and everything and getting people going. And I feel like it'll be a good gateway game for people. As far as the board goes, and this is pretty easy to play. You're going to be moving your characters through here and everything. And eventually the boss is going to land on the board and stuff like that. But you don't have like a whole lot of extra options. You know, you have some options.
But it's not like a ridiculous tactical one where there's like 900 hex spaces and like where you're at and you get +1 movement.
So it's going to be a lot about the cards. It's going to be a lot about reading those cards because the cards are going to be funny. It's going to be a lot about the art and light fun gameplay with other people. That's my thoughts on it. Have I played the game? No. Have I watched stuff on the games? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And by
there's dice rolling. Like, for example, when you're using magic, you roll a die to just see which sector you hit.
Yeah, looking at the mechanics. And the other thing here is, too, that the people who have the designers on this game, there's Erica and Sen, and they've done Bosk and what was it? The Scott Pilgrim game, Kodama, that was Erica. And then Sen
has also done
Haunted, Adventure Tactics.
He did the Scooby-Doo Haunted Mansion one too.
Kingdom Rush, the Scooby-Doo one.
Right.
So already in your mind you can kind of envision the like the general place of where the game is going to land in as far as complexity.
Right, like if something comes from the op and it's based off of like a television show, you pretty much know what it's geared towards, right? Like if you get, doesn't matter which version of Munchkin you get, you kind of have an idea of what play level it's at, right? Like how complicated it is to teach somebody new.
Right.
And so you're saying this is probably more in the lighter versus the mid or a heavy
but not
game.
Like so light that it's like, oh
or Distilled
man.
is mid.
Right, where it's like, oh man, like this is so light, I get bored of it. I'm just saying it's going to be a lighter game to play. So whenever I hear Bosk, I think of Bosk. What? Was it Scott Pilgrim? I know that just popped into my head. Yes, that was Erica, I believe, worked on Scott Pilgrim.
No, he's saying, is that the one that you thought was too complicated for the market? No, I don't think so.
No. Scott Pilgrim was perfect for the market. It was very easy to get into, I feel like.
We'll figure it out as soon as we walk in the other room. We'll be like, oh, there's the game right there.
It was something we played off camera, everyone, and then we played it, and I was like, like, I couldn't imagine new gamers, or people with the IP, involved with the IP, coming into this and being like, oh gosh, like it was intense for what it was. As for the bigger pledge on this for $79 here, because the normal pledge is $49, the bigger pledge is $79. Be aware that for the bigger pledge, you're going to get the expansions, you're going to get all the rewards, and you're going to get a mini expansion with that. So you're getting the whole shebang. If you just get the $49 pledge, I believe you just get the base game. I don't think you get any of the extra added Kickstarter stuff with this. Did you pull it up?
No, I don't think, because it wasn't that one.
No, it wasn't that one either.
Yeah, it wasn't Botnik or Mind Management or Sobek.
I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and look.
It might have been much longer than you think.
It might have been a little while ago. So, Doctor.
This one looks interesting. I like Deepwater games in general.
Me too.
I think, though, I've been leaning heavier towards the more story-based games recently because, you know, your tastes kind of ebb and flow, and now I'm all about, like last year I was all about 4X games, which we haven't got any of them in yet. I hope I still want them when they all come in. This year I'm all about story-based games, like Destiny's has been a really big hit. I really like a lot of the story-based games where I feel like I'm kind of uncovering a narrative as I go along. That seems to be my piece de resistance right now.
And let's see here. You cheat on your audience by playing games off camera. We're not cheating on you. We got to test some of them out before we bring them on camera.
Okay, Star Wars Bounty Hunter Boss. Okay, I knew that name. I was like, man, are you talking about Mass Effect or something? Like, what are you talking about?
Star Wars Bounty Hunter, is that a thing?
Yes, it was like an old game though, like N64. I want to say, like around the pod racing period. I want to say.
I was like, I've never even heard that. I've never played that game before.
So I'm kind of on the fence with this one. I don't feel like it's something that I need to have in my collection. I'm glad it's out there, but I don't think this is something I'm going to jump on.
I wish that I knew more about the comic. It just reminds me that I want to read the comic.
I was going to say, I think I'm more likely to read the graphic novel than I am to play this particular game.
Absolutely.
But it's one of those things, if you read the graphic novel, you get super into it, then that might push you towards buying this game.
Absolutely. Or if you're looking for lighter games to play with people and you have some people in the comic book hobby that are really interested, this is a good way to get them as a gateway gamer over into your gaming collection. And then you introduce them to lots of other games. Like, there's a big thing with gateway games where you can get lots of other people playing at your table that normally wouldn't with games like this. So if you're interested in that, make sure to go ahead and support them. I'm going to have to say I'm going to pass on this one because I want to read the comic, but I don't know if this particular game, if it would be too light for me.
I feel like it's very battle heavy.
I hope
just
so.
battle heavy, which I think you like. You are really a big tactical person.
Tactical,
Like in some ways, Gloomhaven is almost not even enough tactical for you in a lot of ways.
The main problem is that the playthroughs on this channel are at 3 a.m. my time zone. Oh,
sorry,
no.
Dolly.
Sorry, yeah.
Hello, Marie.
It would somewhere in the future, one day, we'll play games at other time
Maybe
zones.
we'll just move to your time zone. Who knows?
There you go. There you go. And hi,
Where
Glory
do you live?
Mom.
Is it cooler there? Because it's hot here right now.
Yeah, I would prefer a cooler place to be. I love the characters so much.
Braga.
All right. Moving on, we have Bantam West. Now, Bantam West here is by Bantam Planet. This is their first game. This is an open world. Okay, first off, this is an open world game. Stop getting too excited, Doctor. It's a Western, which you all know how much I love Westerns. By watching this video, I just really, really, really want to play this game right
Cool.
here. I want to play this game.
It's called Red Dead Redemption.
Dang it.
And we have it. I have the second one and the first one. We can go ahead and play it. It's a really good game. You'll like it. It's very open world.
Hello, Kabuki. We need Gloryhound on demand, says Battlecry. That would be cool. You just
Red Dead
call me up
Redemption-
and be like, hey, we want to watch you play a
Red Dead Redemption
game.
is basically Skyrim, but in the West.
I know.
I know you've seen me play
I know.
it. Yeah, this made me want to play that game a lot. Like, I just want to get back to playing that.
So yes, this is sort of like Red Dead Redemption, the board game, in a way, which you can pretty much, it sounds like, you can pretty much do whatever the heck you want. If you want to go around, you want to murderize some people, you can do that. If you want to open up a shop, you can do that. Like, you can do whatever the heck you want to do in this game.
You can go hunting, you can cut wood, you can go mining, you can get robbed after you get your gold. You can be out there mining with like a posse and like fill up a mine cart, fill up your saddlebags on a horse, be riding back into town to sell it, and then get held up by a bunch of desperados.
So the personal goals in this game that you have, because your character has personal goals that are just for them, imagining that they need in order to succeed at the game, which is very much like Wasteland Express. Because Wasteland Express, you have your own personal goals that you collect throughout that game. You're all kind of doing the same thing, but you still want to do your personal goals on the cards.
Almost like Destiny's, though,
and then get those done first.
Where you're like actually actively trying to complete like a goal. Now, Destiny's only has like the one goal to win the game, right? But there's many goals you're trying to get to complete that goal. This would be kind of close to that also, where there's specific things you're trying to do. What's nice about this one is like little dumb things. If you're out there and you are mining all the time, you get to the point where you're like more resistant to like frostburn or frostbite. And if you're out there with an axe all the time, I don't know, you get like immune to termites or something. Who knows? But as you level things up, you can get better at other things because of it. And you might form up a posse and rob people, where I might be mining gold and the kid might be off hunting animals in order to get infamy, and somebody else might be doing something else. It seems like there's so many different ways. It's just however you can get your infamy, it's up to you.
So let's see here. We have Fatal saying, hey, Gloryhound, would you say that this is thematically like Coloma?
Coloma's more like a Euro with rondel placement. Worker placement-y style.
Petter also says, I'm not sure about this video, but the game looks amazing. The video looks like it's CG from 1999, but the game sounds good.
Yeah, the CG people were a little off, but I mean, that's not what they do, right?
Right.
It's not their...
But I thought it was an incredibly fun, like, I don't know, like the storytelling in that little video was really fun. I really enjoyed the storytelling in it.
This is on a different planet, by the way. So this is a lot like Firefly.
Space Western.
Where it's like, where it's very much like technology is Western style, but this is on a different planet. You are not on Earth when you were here. So I don't know how that factors in, though, if there's like alien encounters you run across or not.
What?
I don't know. Because there are events that happen, and it seems like it's mostly like basically like the Old West, but on a different planet. This could be almost like Westworld. Who knows?
Hello, Kenham. Thanks for joining us on our show. Kenham says, I'm Italian and I love your program. Thank you. We really appreciate that. And we'll have to check out Motu. I have not seen that one at all. Like, I'm going to have to check that one out. Let's see here. I backed Western Legends, but neither of my gang groups were interested, so this is a pass for me, says Luke.
Here's the thing, Luke. From what I understand from looking at both of them, now I have not played either game, unfortunately. I have Western Legends.
We have Western Legends in the house, everyone. I report. We have Western Legends
Game Boy
in the house.
wants us to learn it so we can teach him how to play it. From what I understand, Western Legends, you can do a bunch of different things, but it's much more guided, right? So it's going to be like playing one of those video games where your objective is laid out in front of you, where this one is very much more like an open world, like a Skyrim or a Fallout, where there's some loose goals, but how you get to them is 100% up to you. You can get there 100 different ways. So that's the big difference, where this is going to play more like an open world video game, and something more is just more guided when you're playing Western Legends. Like Western Legends can be compared more towards like a Euro-y style. Not a Euro, but leans more that route with storytelling and stuff in it.
Here's my question about this here. So player interaction in this game, you're often doing your own different things and everything. Like, can you rob another player and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, there's actual lots of player. That would make me so angry if one of you all held me up. I would be so mad.
You have made this argument so many times for a pirate game where you're like, oh, I'd love to steal your booty. But now that it's in a Western, you don't want to steal my gold? You're telling me
Well, it's not your booty,
you would
so
steal
it's
booty,
different.
but you're not a gold digger. Is what you're telling me.
That's right. Not a gold digger.
Yes. So here's the thing.
Stealing booty
when
is
you're
classy.
going out and you're getting your golds, you also want to make sure you're getting weapons and maybe some people to back you up, because there are player fights in this where you can fight over stuff. Now you and I will probably leave each other alone till towards the end, or if we see somebody coming back with a big haul of gold or something. But yes, you can fight each other and steal each other's resources. So not only would I get infamy for defeating you, I can also basically loot your body.
I really like these player goal cards and how they're all individually kind of different and stuff like that, and they all relate to what the actual goal is and everything. I really, really love that a lot. I love these goal cards so
the
much.
question is, will it beat Western Legends? For me, this kind of feels like a Dinosaur Island Dinogenics thing, where I feel like there'll be some people that have both, of course, but a lot of people go, oh, well, I love Western Legends, and I'm all in on that one, or someone's going to say, oh, I really like this one, and I'm going to be all in on this one. I think it's kind of one of those things where although they exist on a similar theme, they play differently enough that you could justify having both or only one.
Hold on.
I'm actually leaning more towards this one because... Oh, you can take the quiz?
I want to take a quiz.
I'm leaning more towards this one because it seems like it's more open world, which I feel like will give her more opportunity to do things she likes. I feel like you care less about being like, oh, I'm Bat Masterson and I'm a sheriff over here. Like, I feel like you care less about that than you would about this, where you can... Right there, Hannah, she just wants to burn things. One of her goals is to burn down somebody else's cabin. Tell me you're not excited about being a pyromaniac in the West. Just Molotov cocktailing people. Tell me you're not excited about that.
Petter says, are there playthroughs on the page? I'm not 100% sure. I don't think so, right?
So Kyle, this one is considered to be a little bit more complex than Western Legends, yes.
Absolutely.
Closer to like a 3 on the Geek rating.
And
or
this
something.
one here is for 2 to 4 players, and it's 1 to 2.5 hours, so 2.5 hours. So this is made to be an incredibly long game. The designer of this game, and I don't know how to say their name, but I think it's Ike Brincardi. They are very involved in like miniatures games and 40K and stuff. Like, I read their thing on BGG.
That's a plus.
They're very
you.
interesting. They're like a veteran too and stuff, I think.
That's a plus for you.
Like, I was very interested in hearing all their background and story, but it is their first game that they're creating, and so far I'm like, this is like a spectacular job that they're doing with this. I'm pretty impressed by everything that's happening in here. In fact, I am so impressed that perhaps I may want to back this game.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. This never happens. This will be my first Western game I own. It's just allergies, guys. It's just allergies.
I really liked Wasteland Express and having the different goals and having the race for those goals that weren't necessarily related to each other, but you were all like still like on the board trying to like do stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I enjoyed that part of Wasteland Express a lot. And in Wasteland Express,
the same way by sending the raiders over to somebody.
In Wasteland Express, that's like over an hour game, and it went by like lightning. 2-hour game.
We always finish in just under 2 hours.
Like, every time I've played that game, I've always gone, oh man, like, I wish I had more time. Like, I don't feel like I'm done.
This is 100% like, so 2 things. One, it's variable game length, because you can set it up where you can do, like, the intro is only like 3 infamy.
Yeah.
Where you can set up a game where you go all the way up to 20 infamy, or you can do 15 infamy, or 10 infamy, depending on which kind of like scenario you pick that you want to go for. So that's good. This also ends in your favorite way, which is like Wasteland Express ends by once someone completes their 3rd objective. Side ends once you collect your last little star or whatever, right? This is the same type of thing. It's like once you get to that infamy level, say you're going for 15, then you make it back to the saloon. If nobody else also gets 15 and makes it back to the saloon on that end game turn, like you win. And then you have a shootout, of course, if you guys both get tie or something. But
the starting price on this game here is $97. And yeah, okay, so $150 for the deluxeified, which I don't I don't think I took a chance
so
to look
the
at the
Deluxified
Deluxified
comes
portion.
with, it doesn't come with extra characters from what I can tell. And that's the biggest downside for me is that it doesn't
Gold
come
coins.
with extra characters. Like, the gold
Like,
coins are always nice.
little
Upgraded
upgraded
terrain
things.
is nice.
Oh yeah, terrain.
I don't know if I want to pay an extra $50 for that though. Because you're going to get like a deputy star for the first player marker instead of a cardboard hat.
There's a lot of stuff with this.
Which is cool. I mean, I think that's cool, but I don't know if I need that.
Yeah.
The other thing about this is a game that if we played it, we would probably have to have just the areas on the table and then like our shop like off camera because it is a very big game.
Right. Oh,
it is
very,
modular.
very big game, yeah.
It is modular, so you can set up however you want, but it is a big table hog.
I really, really like the fact that it is modular, everyone, because there's nothing worse than putting a board like that on your table and you're thinking, man, I could have saved space if they didn't do this over here or that over there. Like,
right, like the Few and the Cursed is really good, but
Yeah.
it's like the board takes up the table and you're like, cool, that just, you don't have options.
100% down with the modular board on this and being able to kind of move everything where I want it to go so it fits my table better and it fits my players and where people are doing things. Like, I really, really like that.
I don't need the shop right in front of me. I just need to know I can go to the shop.
Yeah, so Fatal says, the first question on the Kickstarter, frequently asked questions, the solo mode question, it'll be 2 years until that happens for solo mode. So not for solo mode probably anytime soon. This game is really interesting. I'm pretty down with this game. I don't even like Westerns, but the fact that I can do whatever I want, like my Westworld Western,
yeah,
I'm okay with Westworld. So, all right, I want to take this quiz.
Here's the thing about Westworld. If you're visiting it, perfecto. If you live there because you happen to be one of their synths, not so great.
No, not so great.
Not so great.
All right, you come across a beautiful cabin in the middle of the woods. Your confidence owner is someone you have a bone to pick with. Do you?
Barricade the door, just in case. Lay a bear trap. Continue on with your day, or pick the lock on the front and rob them blind.
No, let's rob them blind. Oh, yeah.
You're down on your luck and you have nothing but sand in your pockets. What are you going to do for a quick buck? Hunt for buried relics? Slay a predator? Pour your passion into crafting handmade artisan goods? Or sit in the saloon and gamble?
Gambling.
Oh my gosh. You're on the verge of collapse from your vicious fight you're engaged in. Your opponent barely has a scratch on him. What do? Do you slip into the shadows? Look one of your riders in the eyes and giving them one last nod as they dive in front of a bullet traveling your way. Wow, you sacrificed them. Put down your weapons, roll up your sleeves, crack your knuckles, and bring the pain. Or throw some dynamite hoping it blows them to smithereens. Dynamite. Oh, okay. I'm just letting you guys know, dynamite. If I'm going to lose, we're both going to lose.
If you could choose only one item, what would it be? A torch, a horse, a six-shooter, a lock-picking kit. I think you have to have your six-shooter, right?
Here's the deal. If I have
or
a
your horse.
six-shooter, now I can take your horse, your torch, and your lockpick kit.
Yeah, this is.
What are you going to do about it?
This is it.
Try to ride away.
Where do you feel the most at home?
The deep, dark woods.
Deep, dark woods.
The wide open plains, the wintry mountains, or the humid wetlands. The woods. Yeah.
I love that they have this here. What's your nickname?
Just say okay. Oh yeah, you can do it. Gloryhoundd.
No, my email.
Just hit OK. You don't have to do it.
What?
It says click OK to skip.
All right, where's my OK button? Oh no, don't look at that.
Just hit the little arrow button. See if that's enough to do it. No?
No.
No.
I want to finish my story, everyone. Jeez.
Well, just do it off camera if you're a big
We'll
baby
do
guy.
it off camera.
Nobody will. No, just like literally type it now.
Oops.
So
There we go.
in my effort to fake cry because of what she was saying, I actually am crying a little bit. The
Are you
allergies
for real?
getting me,
So
yeah.
you're backing that game, everyone.
Yes.
So that's how Gloryhound is spelled, says Petter. Are you all backing this game? I want to know. I know a lot of you are Western fans.
I think the open world will make it so that you will play it, which means I'm going to want to back it over Western Legends. I like the lore of our own West and Bat Masterson and Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. I feel like you care less about that stuff. Like, you just don't care, which is fine. I don't care about astronauts. I'm sorry, Buzz. I don't care about astronauts. So I think for me, if you're going to play it, then that means I get to play it, so that's a win for me. Ooh, you got
Levi Mercer.
Hailing from Helmlock City, the national capital of Midland, you're a city slicker who earned your mastery of fieldcraft and gunslinging during your time in the Midland Army. A natural-born leader, you served your time in the Army as an officer leader. Oh, so you didn't work then.
Oh!
After a few chaotic years and a series of traumatic events, you went from officer to outlaw. That seems very likely.
Oh, yeah.
You carry the nickname the Marauder. That's fair.
Like a curse and a grim reminder of the horrific happenings of your previous life. Your extensive training, physical fitness, and agility have allowed you to push past the old wounds, become one of Frontier's most renowned gunslingers.
If Buzz came to my house to punch me in the jaw, I would let him, because he is still a hero. I would allow
Jolly
it.
says, my budget is spent, but it's looking really interesting. Petter says, I want to save money right now, but I want to. Ooh, okay. I'm doxing them right now as we speak, says Fatal. Wow,
Please
Fatal.
Just don't.
It looks like a fun choose your own adventure, says Marie. Yeah, I'm down with this one. I would get this game. It seems pretty interesting.
I think we're at the $100. I don't know if we would go up to $150. It really depends on if something got unlocked
$100
special.
for sure. Yeah.
I want to see if they unlock other characters though too, because that's a big thing. If I'm playing a 4-player game, I hate it when you feel like you don't have even a choice, where you're just like, oh, I pick, then you pick, and then all of a sudden that last player is just like, oh. Here's the other thing. I think this would be good at 2-player, where I've heard Western Legends is only good at 3 or 4, like 3 or more, right? We've been told that before, that Western Legends is good at 2-player.
I think
this is going to be fine in 2-player.
The biggest thing is going to be the fact that this is a 2 to 3-ish hour game. And so plan accordingly. Like, this is a game that you're probably not going to break out all the time.
Yeah, but you say that, but then, like, you play something like, I don't know, what's a good example? What's that one Come On game? Rising Sun? You break out Rising Sun, it's supposed to be like an hour and a half to 2 hours max, and we played it for 6 hours almost. So, I don't know. It's always going to depend on your game group more than anything else. And I think this one will play a lot faster at 2-player also, which is important. The biggest thing about Western Legends, I've always heard that it doesn't play well at the lower player counts.
All right. What do we want to back this week, everyone? So, chat, you have one burrito. Well, you have more than one burrito, but what are you spending your burrito money on? You can have delicious Chipotle burrito foods, or you can have board games. So,
I'll eat a sandwich.
You'll eat a sandwich,
Yeah, I'll have a
peanut
butter and jelly sandwich.
A PB&J.
So
your 99-cent PB&J.
Your number one pick is Bantam West, am I right?
That was not my number one pick.
What was your number one pick? Spire's End?
Let me re-review my list here. Hold on.
Oh, how did you forget? We just did the show.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Do your number one.
This is an incredibly tough week, everyone. I want to back multiple things. I'm going to have to say my number one pick, probably Distilled. I like Distilled. Distilled. The rest for the pork sandwich in the fridge, says Jolly. Petter says, right now I'm backing Hildegard.
Hildegard.
I gave my burrito to Hildegard, says Fatal. What's your pick, Doctor?
I like Spire's End and Bantam West.
You gotta pick one.
I don't want to pick one or the other.
Oh no. What are you gonna do?
Like, if we just don't get Distilled, it's no problem. Problem solved.
What? The disappointment on his face.
I know. I thought she was going to say one of the ones I wanted for once. Hildegard.
Overall, Distilled is going to be... All these are really long games, actually.
Here's the deal.
All of them are long games.
What if I play Genotype with you instead of Distilled? You already have that game.
No. I was looking at... Okay, so Distilled is 30 minutes per player, so that's like
it's going to be longer with you. Tell me that's not going to be longer with you.
Oh, and you think giving me open world stuff is not going to make things longer?
But it's a game I want to play, so I don't care. I feel like they're different enough that they could be a lot of fun, because one's an open world, sandboxy style of game, like in an adventure that you're kind of racing each other. Which, the one caveat I will say about Bantam West is it's one of those games that you really only need one person in your game group to have. You don't need multiple copies, where I would say that with the Hildegard, or Spire's End, you could potentially, like, if everyone in your game group had it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because, it's played at smaller player counts. You're never going to play it at 4 or 5 players.
Marie says, too long for me as far as, like, the length of the game. Yeah, a lot of the games this time around are very long to play. But I think, like, the for sure bet in this list here is probably the Spire's
Spire's End.
Spire's End, because that one seems like, I mean, it's $40. It's a quick pickup. You still get some combat. You get some nice storytelling in it and everything. Like, I feel like that would be like a no-brainer on that one.
Best value?
Best value for sure. Best value. When watching Gloryhound play a game like Distilled, never sure if it's buffering or if she's thinking until the smoke comes out of her ears, right? Listen, there are lots of people out there that are way worse than me, okay?
So, Luke, we gotta, like, I can understand what you're saying, Luke, because he's deciding about Witcher, Valor of Villainy, Sniper Elite, Isle of Cats, Kingdom Rush. Did we already pay for our Witcher?
Yes. Yes, we did.
Don't worry about that then. That money's already spent.
Pledge manager just came up, so we paid. We double paid.
Okay, so that's money's already spent.
Spent.
Don't have to worry about that one.
Like that, real fast, okay?
Yeah.
So yours is which one?
I kind of want Bantam West because I don't see us ever getting, if I could only pick one, because I don't see us
Here's what
ever
we'll do.
finding something else.
Here's what we'll do. We'll do Bantam West.
Okay.
We'll get Distilled, and then we'll get the kid Spire's End.
Let's not have 3 people backing every week. That does not sound good.
We've technically gone a few weeks without backing anything, so we should be good.
Still too much. That's why I was like, 2 is okay. 2 is okay.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure and leave in the comments what you're backing this week. Even if we didn't talk about it, we're always interested in checking out what you guys are backing, you all are backing out there. And, you know, looking at those and seeing if we've seen them or if we've looked at them before. Because some of you come up with some really interesting stuff. Hello, Successful Geek. Aloha. So, Disco Discord Party. Absolutely, Disco Discord Party. We have a whole bunch of links in the description. So if you're interested in hearing more from our channel, give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell to get notified for whenever we go live.
If you have any questions for Peter Vaughn about his upcoming game Flamecraft, definitely leave them somewhere, like in the comments below, so we can ask him and potentially answer those questions for you.
Absolutely. Is there anything else? We'll be back next week with another Kickstarter show and a playthrough, and I think we're doing something on the Game Boy Geeks channel as well. So, I'm sorry, Glory Bear, but we're backing this game for your own good. It's for your own good. You will play it. They'll probably like it. Other than that, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see all of you later. Thank you. Bye.